This is the Rojas Report, where we cut through the noise, expose the games, and give the independent physicians the playbook to take back healthcare. We're not waiting on Washington. That'll take another 20 years. We're not playing by their rules. We're building a better system. One direct contract, one self funded employer, one coalition, one fight at a time. Today, we're going to cover major moves in healthcare policy, price transparency, and the fight for physician independence. A former congressman and OBGYN might be the next CDC director. What does that mean for medicine? A bipartisan bill is making waves to finally lift the ban on physician owned hospitals. Will it pass? I'm hopeful. Insurers are losing big in independent dispute resolution because when the numbers are clear, we win. And I love to win. And an all too common scenario about a $4,800 MRI at NYU Langone, now known as the Super Bowl $8 million Super Bowl ad hospital, and what that tells us about price transparency. My name's Dutch Rojas. Let's get into it. This is your advocacy update from the Rojas Report. No fluff, no filters, no fake reform. Let's kick it off with the CDC. The White House is reportedly considering former Congressman Michael Burgess to lead the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Burgess is a friend. He's a Republican, an OBGYN, and longtime member of the House Energy and Commerce Health Subcommittee. This would be a huge shift. An actual physician leading the CDC, not just a political appointee, and one who actually understands the pressures physicians face. Pretty great. The last nominee, unfortunately, was quietly pulled. Burgess is now the front runner, although I haven't heard anything in the last 24 hours. We'll see because no final decisions have been made. This is one to watch. Now let's talk my favorite topic, physician-owned hospitals. A bipartisan group of lawmakers has reintroduced HR 2191, the Physician-Led Rural Access to Quality Care Act. This is important. It's backed by Representatives Morgan Griffith, Kevin Hern, Vicente Gonzalez, John Joyce, and Lou Correa, alongside a growing list of co-sponsors. This bill would lift the federal ban on new physician-owned hospitals. That's a ban that's been in place since the passing of the Affordable Care Act. It never had anything to do with quality. It was always about protecting the large health systems and reducing the number of hospitals where Americans could go for care. PHA President Dr. Joseph Edelhoff said it best: the need for physician-led hospitals isn't a debate. It's a solution whose time has come. He's right. He's been right for a long time. He's one of the best docs in the country. Rural communities cannot wait for new hospital towers. Patients need access today, and physicians are ready to lead, especially in rural America. Let's hope Congress finally lets them. And now, IDR under the No Surprises Act. Here's what just dropped from CMS. We've got an 84% win rate for physicians, hospitals, and air ambulances. We've got an 85% of winning offers that were higher than the insurer's original payment. IDR disputes are up 55% year over year, and carriers are still gaming the system. They delay the resolutions by challenging basic claim eligibility. We're going to call it what it is. Carriers are losing because when a neutral third party gets involved, fair payment wins. And despite 4 federal court rulings against their tactics, carriers are still trying to manipulate the process. I don't know how you people work for these people. Here's the truth: IDR is working because we're fighting back. And we're winning the majority of the time. This isn't just a legal battle, it's a signal that physicians and facilities are done playing defense. So that's your Rojas Report advocacy update. This is one of my favorite segments. A clinician possibly leading the CDC, a bipartisan push to bring back physician-owned hospitals, the very best, and a data-driven takedown of insurer gamemanship in the IDR process. And that's just 1 week. We're not waiting for permission. We're building. All right, we'll be right back. FICAP Fund invests with clinical precision. We are the new venture capital for healthcare. At FICAP Fund, we invest in entrepreneurs rethinking care delivery. We invest early in technology that simplifies physician workflows, enhances patient care, and drives operational excellence. Our network of experienced physicians, healthcare professionals, and executives validate innovations in real-world clinical settings. Physicians Capital Fund, investing in healthcare simplified. To invest, email info@ficap.com. All right, I want to tell you about a story that's a regular occurrence for me. A friend of mine, Eric, texted me, tweaked his back, nothing serious, but enough that his physician ordered an MRI. So, like most people, Eric followed the system, right? He didn't call me up front. He got a referral and scheduled the scan through NYU Langone. You know, the NYU Langone, they had a Super Bowl commercial, state of the art, everything. $8 million commercial. Very impressive. A few days later, Eric gets the good faith estimate, $4,800 for a basic lumbar MRI. Come on, man. He said he nearly choked. So he texts me and he's like, hey, is this normal? And I ask him the one question that most people never think to ask, but I got to tell you, it's time to ask. Did you ask for the cash price? Of course, he hadn't. You guys already know that's true. So I connected with him with a good friend nearby independent imaging center, like 4 blocks away from his apartment. He gives them a call, and guess what they tell him? I know you guys are stunned. $500, $500 flat. That's it. Cash price, no games, same scam. I mean, how many times do I have to tell this story? Well, for you new viewers, I guess this really might be, one of the first times. So same technology, same diagnostic value, 1/10 the price. I mean, that's it, right? The absurdity of healthcare pricing in America. Eric did not downgrade his care. He didn't sacrifice quality. He just stepped outside of NYU Langone and saved $4,300 in a phone call. Now, listen, NYU Langone is an elite institution. They save lives, they perform miracles, but their pricing model, it's not really built for patients. It's built for kind of billing departments. Because when you use insurance, you enter a maze of deductibles, negotiated rates, discounts, facility fees, and a surprise line items that no one can explain. Well, I mean, I can, but when you pay cash at an independent center, right, run by an independent physician, right, who takes their own risk, you get a number. You pay for it, and then you're done. There's no more bills, there's no more explanations. And by the way, this isn't just a New York thing, right? It's happening across the country. It happens in Dallas, it happens in Phoenix, it happens in Chicago, it happens in San Francisco, it happens everywhere. A hospital MRI across the country is about $3,000. Independent physician owned imaging center, like 350. And often they'll do it faster and with better customer service. So what's the takeaway for you? My friends, price transparency changes everything. When patients know the price, they make smarter decisions. When employers know the price, they negotiate better deals. And when physicians publish prices, they build trust and they compete on value. Now, the challenge is the health system because they don't want price transparency. Because if prices were known, the entire house of cards might collapse. The only thing more powerful than price secrecy is price clarity. And that's exactly what saved my friend $4,300. So here's your move. If you need a scan, you need a test, a procedure, whatever you need, if it's like under $5,000, ask for the cash price. If it's small, not an emergency. If you're a physician, come on, man, post your prices. And if you're an employer, start building those direct relationships because transparency isn't just a policy. It is a weapon on how independents win. And the people who know the price, they win every day. Patients, you have to advocate for yourself. Stop letting the grifters steal your hard earned money. We'll be right back.
Physicians must lead, period. Who's in charge of healthcare? Not physicians, and that's the problem. Physician-led Healthcare for America, PHA, is fighting to put control back where it belongs, with the people who actually deliver care, independent physicians, surgical centers, and real competition. Not bureaucrats, not health systems. If you believe in physician autonomy and genuine patient-first care, it's time to step up. Join the movement at physiciansled.com because healthcare needs leaders, not followers.
Let's talk a bit about basic economics because clearly a lot of lawmakers miss these classes. Every time I scroll through the headlines, a lawmaker is shouting profit over patience, like it's some kind of mic drop moment. But here's my question: who exactly are they talking about? Because the folks yelling the loudest, you know who they are. They're all over X. They're the same ones propping up the biggest players in healthcare. They come from states like Massachusetts. Not for profit healthcare systems and not for profit insurance carriers. You can't have it both ways. You can't scream about corporate greed and then back billion-dollar empires with tax exempt status. Let's be clear, not for profit is not a business model, it's a tax strategy. That is it. It means no shareholders, it means no federal taxes, but it does not mean that they don't make money. And they make a lot of money. They bill patients, they collect premiums, they acquire competitors, and they build a massive war chest, AKA cash reserves. Some of the wealthiest health systems in the country, not for profits. Some of the most aggressive insurers, not for profits. They own health systems, HOPDs, clinics, imaging, labs. And yes, many of them own their own insurance plans, own their own PBMs, and they manage benefits. It's vertical integration on steroids. And guess what? All of it's tax free. All of it is tax free. Meanwhile, independent physicians, the ones actually seeing patients, are getting squeezed, bought out, or pushed to the margins. ASCs are regularly demonized. Physician owned hospitals, illegal. Direct contracting, called dangerous. And yet, these are the people lowering prices, improving access, and delivering high quality care. But they're the greedy ones? Come on. This is all about power. And not for profits have all of it. Let's look at Blue Cross Blue Shield. They pay executives 10, 12, $20 million salaries. And most people still think it's a helpful neighborhood nonprofit. In reality, these plans are sitting on billions in reserves, not millions, billions. And yet they raise premiums. They deny claims. They delay payments. So let me ask you, if you're not for profit, where's all the money going? It's not going to patients. It's not going to lower prices or lower premiums. And it sure isn't going to pay physicians. You know where it's going? I mean, I kind of think I have an idea. Skyscrapers, new towers, lobbyists, CE deals. I mean, the salaries are good. There's a guy down the street makes 12 sticks a year. Pretty nice for being a chief operating officer of a not for profit, all under the halo of mission over margin. And here's the worst part: the same not for profit lobby against the very people that are trying to compete. Physician owned hospitals outlawed by Obamacare. ASCs expanding access. You can forget about it in 33 states because they've got certificate of need laws against it. Kentucky, you suck. Direct contracting saves employers 30 to 50%. They're targeted by every health system in the state. They don't want to participate. Why? Because if patients and employers ever had real choice, the empires would have to compete, and they don't want to compete. So the next time you hear a lawmaker say, we need to put patients over profits, ask them, which system are you protecting? Because chances are they're defending a monopoly wrapped in a not for profit label. Let's stop pretending not for profit means good. All it means to me is unaccountable, unregulated, and anti-competitive. You want to fix healthcare like I do? Start with price transparency. Start with physician autonomy. Start by letting the people who actually treat patients compete and stop giving cover to the most powerful tax free monopolies in American healthcare. Not for profit is not for patients, it's for power. And it's time that you said it out loud. It's the Rojas Report. Today, I've got a story that's going to shake every self funded employer in the country. This is not just another case of healthcare gone sideways. This is JP Morgan Chase, one of the most powerful financial institutions in the world, being sued by its own employees over the way it's managed its self funded health plan. Let that just sink in for a minute. It's not about wages, it's not about working conditions, it's about a fiduciary failure. The lawsuit claims that JP Morgan chose CVS Caremark to manage its pharmacy benefits, not because it was the best deal, not because it reduced expenses for employees, but because CVS is a major investment banking client of the firm. That's not just a bad decision. That's a breach of ERISA fiduciary duty. Let's get into the numbers. A drug called teriflunomide, used to treat MS, multiple sclerosis, costs about $11 on Cost Plus Drugs by Mark Cuban. You can walk in any pharmacy, pay cash, and it's less than 30 bucks. But under JP Morgan's plan, administered by Caremark, that same drug is $6,229 for a 30-day supply. That's right, $6,229 for a drug you could have just bought with a few clicks online for 11 bucks. Heck, you probably could have messaged Mark Cuban in the app X and gotten a better deal. The massive overpayment didn't just disappear. It came out of JP Morgan owns self-funded health plan. It came out of their ERISA trust. It came out of their employees' premiums, their HSAs, their paychecks. If you didn't know this, you know now. Self-funding means you own the plan, you pay the bills. It's your money, your design, your vendors, your responsibility, and the law is clear. You must act prudently, meaning with care and diligence. And you must act loyally in the sole interest of your employees and their families. This lawsuit alleges that JP Morgan Chase did neither. Neither, neither, either, either. They allowed their PBM to dictate the formulary. They allowed a banking relationship to outweigh employee interest. And they allowed $6,200 drug bill to slide through the cracks while a cheaper, better option was hiding in plain sight. By the way, this isn't a JP Morgan problem. It's an employer problem across the country. It's a fiduciary problem, and it's certainly a PBM problem. There are tens of thousands of employers, 105 million individuals right now who are blindly signing renewals, rubber stamping formularies, and never asking the most basic questions. Is this in the best interest of our members? That's what the law requires. That's what federal law requires. That's what leadership demands, and that's what your employees expect. Self-funding isn't a buzzword. It's not a passive arrangement. It's a contract with your workforce, and it comes with significant responsibility. If JP Morgan, with all its power, capital, and data, can't or won't get it correctly, then everyone else better wake up fast. 5 years after COVID changed our lives forever, we're finally seeing a stunning admission from the New York Times. It's my favorite newspaper. The so-called conspiracy theorists, they were right all along. Yes, you heard me correctly. Tony Fauci and other leading figures deliberately misled the public about COVID's origin. Here's what the New York Times is now quietly admitting. Tony Fauci, Francis Collins, and Jeremy Farr actively coordinated a media strategy to discredit the lab leak theory. Emails now show they worked behind the scenes to smear and silence anyone who questioned the official narrative. The former administration and intelligence agencies pressured platforms like Twitter and Facebook into censoring discussions about a possible lab leak. Scientists like Anderson, Gary knew privately that a lab escape was likely, yet publicly dismissed it as nothing more than a conspiracy theory. The famous Jeremy of the World Health Organization even got a burner phone, yes, a burner phone, to secretly coordinate meetings with Fauci, Collins, and other top scientists, ensuring discussions stayed hidden from public record. Come on. The infamous proximal origin paper authored by Anderson, Gary, Holmes, Rambit, Lipkin, some other names. They're designed to intentionally mislead us. Behind closed doors and private Slack messages, these scientists admitted a lab escape was not just possible, but highly likely. I don't know what to say. Publicly, they told us it was impossible, mocking anyone who suggested otherwise. The ECO Health Alliance helped cover for the Wuhan Institute of Virology, despite knowing that the risky gain of function research could have sparked the pandemic. Meanwhile, the Wuhan lab, led by the Batwoman, had horrifyingly lax safety protocols, and they expected the public to believe a leak was impossible, as they say in the Rojas's. Now, incredibly, after everything we've learned, researchers affiliated with the same Wuhan lab are experimenting once again with that virus, openly admitting that they're doing so under a dangerously insufficient safety conditions. The safety level isn't even standardized, let alone appropriate for handling pathogens capable of causing another global disaster. As one expert put, remember, this is in the New York Times conducting this research under BSL 2 plus, is as reckless as checking for a gas leak by lighting a match. And yet, prestigious journalists continue to reward this risky research by publishing it. Enough is enough. Please. Transparency is non negotiable. Scientists, government, please, public health agencies, worthless, must be held accountable. We need immediate, strict international oversight of high risk virology research. If you're handling pathogens that can kill people, the absolute highest safety standards probably aren't optional. They have to be mandatory. The media must stop blindly accepting scientific narratives, stay behind closed doors. If we don't demand accountability now, will we pay the price again? And the next time, it's probably going to be worse. Gates. Here's the bottom line. We were misled during COVID. We're probably being misled right now. Uniparty. And unless we hold the scientists, policy makers, and media accountable, history will not just repeat itself, it will punish us for failing to learn our lesson. This is 100% about honesty, public health, and the right of all people across the globe to the truth. Stay informed, stay independent, stay tuned. Man, that's a hard segment. We'll be right back.
Skip the hassle. Get paid up front. Savos Health connects physicians with self-funded employers and health ministry plans. No networks, no claims, no rev cycle, just immediate cash payment at the time of service. And patients? No deductible, no copay, no surprises. Savos simplifies care with upfront prices and instant payments, transforming how care gets delivered and how physicians get paid. Visit savoshealth.com, where healthcare happens instantly.
I want to talk about something every independent orthopedic clinic in the United States needs to hear. What if Red Bull ran your clinic? Yes, I've been watching Formula One, 2 races in. What if the greatest performance brand in the world took over your front desk, your imaging suite, your PT gym, your surgeon console, and said, we're going to turn this into a comeback machine? Here are the facts, and they are undisputed. You like that movie reference? One of my favorites. The way most orthopedic clinics run today, it's passive, it's disconnected, it's forgettable. I said most, not all. And in a world where attention is everything, forgettable is fatal. Imagine walking into a Red Bull orthopedic clinic. You don't wait, you're greeted. Your name's already in the system. Your scan's already booked before you sit down. There's movement, there's energy. It feels so good. Feels like you've arrived somewhere that's ready to change your life. Because that's the thing. Red Bull doesn't do anything halfway. They build environments that say, you matter. Your performance matters. Let's get to work. That's what we need in MSK. Not another laminated sign taped to the glass, not a receptionist scrolling some Instagram, not a 12-minute visit with someone who barely has an opportunity to look up. We need a user experience that actually gives, fill in the blank. My mom watches the show. Surgeons, clinic owners, leaders, executives. I'm telling you right now, hear me on this deal. The biggest competitive advantage you have is not just outcomes, it's not just price. It is 100% experience. How did I feel when I was there and when I left? User experience is what separates the great from the good. It's what makes someone say, wow, that was different. I trust them. I'm sending my whole family. You want to grow your practice? You want to stand out from the 800-pound health system down the street that you want to beat? You don't need any more billboards. Don't put an ad in the newspaper. You need to rethink the patient journey. From the first call to the final rep in PT, every step is a monument to delivering excellence. That's what Red Bull would do. They would build a space where patients feel like high performance athletes, like people on a mission. Every wall, every touch point, every conversation is a part of a bigger campaign, your comeback. And that comeback, it's documented, it's tracked, it's personalized. Whether you're a 17-year-old with a torn ACL from soccer or a 70-year-old recovering from a hip replacement, you're treated like someone who's got more to do in this, our one and only life. You know why? Because you do. So let me give it to you straight. You don't get bonus points for adequacy. You don't scale by being acceptable. Nobody wants to live a life of being average. You grow by being unforgettable. You grow by being the clinic everyone talks about. You grow by building an experience that people want to come back to, even when they don't have to. You've got great surgeons. You've got great facilities. You've got great people. Now you need to bring it to life. You got to bring it together. Bring the energy, bring the precision, bring that Red Bull mindset. This is how you build the future, not by copying the health systems, not by chasing insurance margins, but by creating a new category of care, one that's built on hospitality, performance, and a complete obsession with the patient journey. If you're ready for that, reach out, because I'm working with orthopedic leaders across the country who want to bring this exact model to life. And if you're not ready, that's all right. There's a health system that wants to buy you, maybe a PE guy, because your patients are already comparing you to the experience they wish they had, and they're going to have it. Right. That's a wrap for today. Remember, healthcare isn't broken, it's rigged, but not for long. Independent physicians and patients aren't waiting. We're not asking permission. We're building, we're scaling, and we are winning. Everywhere I go, everywhere I look, people are looking for solutions and we're deploying them. You want a healthcare system that works for you? It starts with you. Join the fight, join a coalition, join a great association. Start negotiating your future. Take agency over yourself. Help us spread the word. If you love the show, share it. If you hated it, share it anyway. Because the more people that see what's actually happening in healthcare, the faster we build the future we actually want. I'm Dutch Rojas. This has been the Rojas Report. Rojas out.